This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit in association with NSC.
Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast on the day of Diwali. I say special because it's a holiday for everyone, but we are bringing this program to you because of the Mahurat trading session, which of course happens every year on the day of Diwali for about an hour or so. That is scheduled later today at 6:30 to 7:30. Those are the trading timings. First up, let me wish all of you, all the viewers of NDTV Profit, a very happy Diwali from everywhere here, everyone here at NDTV. All the lovely people at NDTV are here. Hina is there, you can see. Hina, hi.
Hi,
good evening. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to you
Anisha,
too.
Happy Diwali.
Happy
Good
Diwali to you.
And of course, Pankaj is there as well. I don't know if Pankaj can hear me. Pankaj, happy Diwali. Pankaj is at the BSE. Okay, I don't think Pankaj can hear me. Or maybe there's a bit of a lag. Okay, no, he can't. But he's there at the BSE. We'll just go across to him. At the BSE, traditionally, there is a puja which happens. You know, all the brokers are there. There's a bit of a small ceremony which takes place where, you know, the top volume generators for the year are facilitated, etc., etc. So small function, a puja, and then, of course, it's followed by the Mahurat trading session. 6:15, just a programming reminder, 6:15 to 6:30 is when the pre-open session will run from, and then at 6:30 the continuous market session will start, which will go on till 7:30 in the evening. Those are pictures from the BSE, the puja which happened at the BSE. Those are shots from there. You know, the brokers with their families there in full swing, full color, always, every year, and it's actually quite a sight. We've, of course, we've done this program live out of the BSE for many years. We are coming to you live this time around from the studios here in Mumbai, but I can tell you that it's quite a sight. Pankaj will tell us what's the mood there in just a bit. You know, this is what's coming up here over the next 1.5 odd hours or so. You'll hear from a lot of people, market participants. A. Balasubramaniam, CEO at Birla Sun Life AMC. He comes up right on in just a bit. You'll hear from Sanjay Sinha, founder, Citrus Advisors. We'll hear from Ambarish Baliga, regular face here at Profit. Devang Mehta will be here. You'll hear from Ramesh Damani, that conversation at about 6:40, 6:45 or so. Deepan Mehta will be here, long-time member of the BSE. And of course, our own Sarvendra Srivastav is joining us in just a bit with his ideas and trades. You'll also hear from Mehrab Irani. He's, of course, you know, the man who manages investments at Tata Investments. It's a listed company. You'll hear from him just a bit. And of course, Ramdev Agarwal, Joint Managing Director at Motilal Oswal Financial Services. So it's a packed lineup as always to run you through this Mahurat trading session. You know, if you're just sort of, you know, trading the Mahurat for the first time, mind you that volumes are pretty thin. So, you know, don't expect a regular day. It's just basically token trades which are put in by brokers and, of course, fund managers as well. And institutions generally, you know, what happens is that they tell their brokers what to do on Mahurat, the token trades the day before, and nobody really turns up for work. Of course, especially, you know, if there is a puja at offices, people do turn up, but otherwise, it's basically a token session. I mean, you know, it's more symbolic than actual. Of course, trades will be honored. Losses will be made, gains will be made, etc. But it's a thinly volume traded session, so don't expect a regular full-packed session. You know, those are markets, Diwali to Diwali, spectacular. Sensex 25, Nifty 26, mid-cap 50, small-cap 74 odd % or so. Nice progression, 25, 50, 75, you know. If you look at the large-cap index, mid-cap index, and the small-cap index, actually. And, you know, Diwali in the past has has actually proven to be a turning point. In 2010, I remember it was a top. The market just sort of, you know, completely topped out. But let's just get in our team here. Hina is with us. Anisha is with us as well. Anisha, first I want to sort of talk about the coal ordinance thing. Okay, Pankaj is right now with us as well. Pankaj, can you hear me?
Absolutely, Prashant. Happy Diwali and a very, very prosperous New Year.
Happy Diwali to you too. And I hope you're having fun at the BSE. What's happening, by the way, at the BSE? People are waiting for the pre-open now?
Absolutely, Prashant. The mood here is just not described. Just not. I don't have words to describe it. In the last 4-5 years that I've been coming over here, this time around it is looking something different. It is looking something special. People are coming with their family. They are trying to. It's not more about trading, what they will do at 6:15, 6:30. It's just the mood at BSE. It's just the levels that we are at. It's probably just showing the joy of being at a largely at a life high. I came here at 4 p.m. Today I went around in the building. I have a lot of friends, and the celebration seems to be quite high. They have their list, what they want to buy, what they're not, but it's more about the level that we are. It's more about the joy of being here. It's more about the last 1 year that has gone by, and the hopes that the next year will be very, very high. Nobody's talking about any correction. Nobody's talking about any sort of major correction over here. I have gone to at least 5-6 offices in this last 1.5 hour, and all just seems to be just preparing for Diwali, just trying to burn some diyas, just trying to get some decoration going.
The point, you go around broker offices, you never hear that a correction is coming. So that's, I think, ruled out. But generally, you ask people, market kaisa lag raha hai? The general answer you get is, अच्छा लग रहा है. ठीक, market तो अच्छा करेगा. But then you ask, what should one buy? Ideas are thinning out. At least that's what I've noticed. The answer is market will do well, but what should one buy? Then people start to get a little iffy, right? I mean, things have run up, and then all of that starts to come out. Are you picking that up there as well at the BSE?
Yep. Yeah, Prashant, but it's not essentially, the brokers that I went to are not a so-called research brokers, but they are essentially proprietary brokers, that have been doing trading for really a long time, right from the time when there was this ring around here. Essentially when I put this question across to them, that market kya lag raha hai, and their answer was that we are always long in the market hamesha अच्छा ही लगता है. So that was that has essentially been the answer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, just come back to you. Hina, the coal thing actually turned out to be pretty big, right? And the ordinance was put on the website, I think at about 11 or 12 or so yesterday. It's I didn't go through the entire 15-page thing, but I read some operative parts. And if you look at the newspapers this morning, this is, and people were questioning whether this is really reform or they're just tying the loose ends or cleaning up the mess because of the Supreme Court order cancelling coal blocks. But if you read the ordinance, it looks like they're basically freeing up the coal sector. The basic condition that only if you have end use for coal can you take out coal, I think that has been done away with this ordinance. At least sometime in the future, when they want to do it, I mean, if I am eligible with whatever criteria the government wants to put, I could take out coal and sell to whoever I want. I don't have to have a steel plant or a power plant or a cement plant. That's at least what this ordinance, as I read it, showed, and I think that's what a lot of newspapers are reporting as well. So that's actually pretty big. The market hasn't realized that, at least not till yesterday while we were trading, right?
Well, absolutely, Prashant. In fact, till yesterday, we have been speaking to a lot of analysts, and what they have been saying is that the government is currently, in the coal sector in particular, is just trying to, look at the immediate issues which require attention. But what has actually come out, it looks like that now a kind of a big reform is something that is likely in the coal sector as well. Remember, the way this Modi government is working and has worked in the last one fortnight, it appears that, it's in some kind of a hurry from one reform to the other. It all started with labor reform firstly, and then we had a slew of fuel reforms coming in, and now this coal sector. So clearly, slowly and gradually, we'll see more pages, in fact, being turned by this particular government. And what I'm picking up from my sources at this point in time is that even some bigger reforms are lined up in the next, a couple of weeks or so before the winter session of the parliament begins. And then as well, we can expect some concrete thing as far as the GST is concerned. So clearly, market has got a lot of things now. Remember, ever since the new government had come in, we only saw that the sentiment had improved. We discussed this with a lot of analysts, a lot of economists, that nothing really changed on the ground. But now it appears that it has now picked up steam in a big way, and the way things are changing, be it the coal sector, be it the oil and gas space, and now even in the finance, in the banking space also. Remember, last time when we reported that during the time of Diwali, even the disinvestment process is going to pick up steam, and also consolidation is something in the banking system is likely to pick up post Diwali. So while so far we have seen a couple of reforms coming through after Diwali, some more are expected. In fact, really big reforms are.
Okay, so I mean, this is really big, and I think the market will pay attention to it when it comes back on Monday morning. Can we just lower the shot here? I don't know if people can see this beautiful setup here. The production team has really worked hard to get this on. So there's the flowers, there's diyas, there's lighting, and there's a coffee mug, but I think I can remove that. That's mine. But it's full Diwali splendor. So yeah, there you can see it. The shots there. So our own, big bull, I mean for us actually at least, is with us, Sarvendra Srivastav, who's actually turned a little bit of a bear in the recent past, but I hope he'll come around. Sarvendra, good afternoon, good evening actually. Happy Diwali to you, your family. Hope you have a fantastic trading year ahead. What is your sense, Sarvendra?
Good.
Are we at a turning point in a good way?
Good evening, Prashant. I'll take this occasion to wish everybody at NDTV and all our viewers a very happy and prosperous Diwali. And yes, as you rightly said, I'm just looking at a small little correction probably that might not happen because if you look at stocks, rotation-wise, I think stealth kind of a correction probably is over. So there are a lot of stocks, almost 200-300 stocks, which are at good risk rewards long term. So anybody who's hoping for a Diwali to Diwali kind of a trade from me today, I think there are a couple of trades, good trades that are coming their way. So be tuned in and watch our programming for all that.
Okay, Sarvendra has really become a great TV star as well. He knows how to hook you in. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sarvendra, we'd love to hear those trades on. Mehrab Irani is with us as well. Mehrab, of course, is now an author first and then a fund manager. He's always been a fund manager. He's now an author as well of 2 fantastic books. Mehrab, good evening. Great to see you there. Happy Diwali.
Good evening, Prashant. Happy Diwali, Prashant, to you, your family, and everybody at NDTV and all your viewers. I would like to wish a very happy Diwali, a very prosperous new year, and may this new year bring new joy and happiness to everybody's lives.
Mehrab, your daughter is with you as well, I'm being told?
Yeah, my daughter is also here. She is also very excited looking at the environment over here, the puja over here. It's simply fantastic being over here at Bombay Stock Exchange.
Absolutely. Electric atmosphere. I mean, I know everybody's there with families, and I think that's the great thing about it, right?
Right. It's really electric atmosphere, and we are all excited to be over here.
Mehrab, so did you go through the coal ordinance thing? So far before the ordinance actually came through and people read through it, the general assumption was the government was, with the e-auction, which was planned in 3-4 months' time, the government was just cleaning up the mess, which was already there. But the close reading of the ordinance suggests that they're actually intent on freeing up the sector for commercial mining.
Right, I think that's very positive for the sector, and overall I think we have been I think we have to positively look at that sector. So coal is one thing where we are positive, and also with what the reforms have happened, we are very much positive on the oil and gas sector also.
Yes, oil and gas, that's another big focus area. Do you own oil marketing stocks, Mehrab?
Yeah, more than marketing, I think I would be more positive on ONGC. I think that is at a very sweet spot, and I think that will be the biggest beneficiary of this international correction in oil prices and whatever reforms we are seeing in India. I think the subsidy burden will come down, and I think that is at a very sweet spot, a big beneficiary. I think we are positive on ONGC.
ONGC. But a lot of people see the bigger delta being there in oil marketing stocks. And the story there they say is, the marketing margins that they earn, now that that diesel is deregulated, and diesel of course is 3/4 the total volume as far as auto fuels go, and about 50% of the total volume of fuel sold at the retail level. They say, for example, IOC, HP, BP, instead of earning 1.5 rupees a litre on diesel, can now charge 2 rupees. They can earn 2 rupees. And the volumes are very big. And this could really make a huge difference. Do you believe that is possible? Or do you think the government will not allow that?
Up to a certain extent it might be possible, and the biggest delta I think would be in HPCL. I think that will be one of the biggest beneficiary of this deregulation, and I think if somebody has to own it for earning extra delta, I think HPCL should be the stock.
HPCL. So it's upstream, it's ONGC, and then, I mean, if you want to own an oil marketing stock, it's got to be, you're saying HPCL, right? Fair enough. Merab, what's your view on the market? You think, you know, the phenomenal returns that we've seen, Nifty 25, mid-cap I think 50, small cap 75%, nice progression last 1 year, Diwali to Diwali. You think we'll see returns anywhere near to this over the next 1 year?
Yeah, if you see from last Diwali to this Diwali, the market has given phenomenal returns, and most have come over the last 6 months after the new stable government was elected. Just if we see what has changed over the last 1 year from last Diwali to this Diwali. If you see last Diwali, at that time, there was a government which was unstable, which was not able to take any action. There was total policy paralysis which was going on. If you see, inflation was still very high, it was close to double digit. Interest rates were very high, the 10-year GSEC was close to 9%. Oil prices internationally were also still high, and overall the rupee had also been very volatile and just started to stabilize. And today if we see what has happened, we have got a government which is quite stable. After 30 years we have got a government which has a clear majority and which is very much clear that it wants to do reforms. Inflation has actually come down, interest rates have come down today, even long-term rates have come down, and also if we see the valuations have also been reasonable. Yes, the earnings growth have been fine. I think this year there is a projection of around...
Yes.
Right.
Yes, just coming back to you. We've got the pre-open session. It's largely meaningless on most days. I think today is no different. Nifty is showing a 200-point cut. Anisha, why don't you take us through?
Yes, let's go through the prices coming in at the pre-open. The Nifty is showing a very deep cut, about 200 points at this time. You know, pre-open prices will eventually correct, but at this point in time, if you take a look at the losers, the list is very short. In fact, the gaining on the gainer side, we have far many stocks gaining, but what's really dragging the Nifty down at this point in time is a 10% cut coming in ONGC. ACC is down 5%, Ambuja Cements is down 1%. Perhaps there will be a little pressure on ACC Ambuja, but we are seeing these figures change fast. On the gaining side, we have JSPL and Mahindra & Mahindra amongst the top gainers on the Nifty, up nearly 3%. For JSPL, Ultratech is also up 1% plus at this point. We're not getting the Sensex figures at this point in time, and for the Nifty, it's looking, I mean, really something that nobody expects. The Nifty showing a cut of 355 points, is down 4.5%. I'm sure this is not going to happen because if we take a look at the cues we're getting from around the globe, they have been reasonable, if not really bullish. They've been supportive. We've seen flash PMI data in China showing us a better than expected tick. In Europe also, we've seen a firmer reading for manufacturing output in for the region in October. So we're not getting any negative cues, but perhaps these they're very wild readings coming through for the Nifty level, and you know, a downtick of 4.5%. I'm still trying to see what is really dragging it down so much. Again, now HUL is a heavyweight. Maruti, ICICI, TCS, all of these are down 10% or so.
Meaningless, Anisha.
Yes, all meaningless. Perhaps I don't think, maybe there can be a negative, you know, trade on Wipro, given that the earnings were slightly lower than expected. But I don't see any reason why Maruti should be down 10% when they, you know, this is the festive period, and there is an expectation that there'll be bumper sales coming in compared to at least last year. So we will just wait for the real opening to happen. But Prashant, till now, I think these moves look really wild.
Absolutely, a true pre-open style. And today actually it's a little more you know, exaggerated as well. Anisha, just coming back to you. Merab, so I interrupted you. Please complete that point. And you know, the basic thrust of my question was, do you think we'll so everything is, you know, what you're basically pointing out is that how things have changed, right? Government, growth prospects, confidence, inflation, right? So everything is looking, and that's the reason why most people say, well, we're in a sweet spot. I agree with that. But markets have their own way of sort of pricing these things in. So how do you distill all that down into what markets will do from here? The view is positive. I ask a lot of people, well, what will markets do? They say, you know, market will be just fine. They'll be very good. And then I ask, so what are the stocks to buy? And then, you know, they struggle a little bit because, you know, then they say, well, valuations are actually maybe a little too full. Let's wait a little bit. So there seems to be a bit of a disconnect. What's your view?
Yeah, I agree with you. See, the markets have already given a very handsome rally as we discussed initially, and the valuations are today, if we see forward earnings are almost 17 times, which are not cheap actually, but which are within the long-term 10-year averages. At the same time, if we see a lot of mid-cap and a lot of small cap stocks have actually witnessed way beyond the valuation. They have rallied a lot across the last few months, and there I think some amount of caution is required. So I think a very much sector-specific, stock-specific we should look at it. I would continue to remain at current prices and valuations positive on the banking space, particularly the private banking space, the autos. I think autos are doing very well, and also on the oil and gas space. I would still remain slightly cautious on the infrastructure capital goods space because you know, whenever the economy actually turns, I think those sectors take a couple of more quarters to, they are the lagging sectors, and a couple of more quarters to actually turn around. So there I think there is lot of optimism, but good stocks are not available at good prices and valuations. There I think we should be a little cautious. But yes, I think it's good time to invest, and I would favor private banks, autos, and certain other companies.
Merab, wish you a happy Diwali once again. I understand you have puja at Bombay House, which is, I guess, pretty close by. Thanks very much for joining in. Good talking to you, as always. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Thanks.
Thanks very much. All right, let's just get Sarvendra's, those trades out, right, which Sarvendra was referring to. Sarvendra, why don't you run us through them?
Absolutely, Prashant. These would be trades that you'd want to hold on from, say, probably Diwali to Diwali, or we can say 12-month plus is the duration of these trades. And anybody wanting to kind of commit and hold on to those trades once they take it, I think stocks that are looking good right now in the entire metals pack, as a theme, one sector that I would like to play would be metals, and two top picks there would remain Hindalco and Tata Steel. So from whatever they closed yesterday, you should be looking at a 30 to 40% plus kind of a move, ideally, into these stocks in a 12-month plus kind of a horizon, and that should give you good returns going forward. So metals as a sector, as a theme, is something that I would like, and then I like to now come to...
Which are the two picks there? Tata Steel and Hindalco, right?
Yes, Tata Steel and Hindalco being two liquid names are two things, two stocks that I would definitely want to be on the long side. Hindustan Zinc, Hindustan Copper, and probably JSPL also if someone wants to trade, but I would stick to Tata Steel and Hindalco as two trades, clear trades with 35 to 40% plus kind of returns possible over the next 12 months into these two names. Mind you, these stocks have corrected 20% plus, 20-25% plus from the highs. So even if they regain those highs, you will be making a decent kind of a profit in a 1 year's time. So metals will be a sectorial theme. Rest everything will be stock specific. So two names that come to my mind, the better ones, which are at long-term markers and undergoing accumulation. Coal India. From these numbers, I think clearly if it goes on to the previous highs itself, 25% plus would be returns. So Coal India, a delivery pick for the next 1 year, and a similar kind of a looking chart is Engineers India. Engineers India has already moved up over the last two sessions, but Engineers India is a stock that can give you 30-35% plus kind of returns going forward if you hold it for 12-month plus. And then I'll go to the beaten down, not moved, one stock which has not moved from the oil and gas space. I think this is for the slightly brave-hearted. Cairn India is something that I like to buy and hold. That is one stock from the oil and gas space that is looking good, along with Reliance. So two names from that space which have not performed till now and been underperforming in the market, Cairn and Reliance, buy picks for the next 12 months. And one performer from that space, which is ONGC. So ONGC is also something I'd like to buy and hold for 12 months.
ONGC as well, okay. So that's those are Sarvendra's ideas. Sarvendra, stay with us. I want to come back to some of those in a bit. Let's take a quick break. We are back in exactly 2 minutes. A. Balasubramaniam is with us as well. He's sitting right next to me. I'll bring him in just a bit. We'll be right back.
We're counting down to the Mahurat trading session. It's just 2 minutes away. We're now joined by Mr. A. Balasubramaniam, CEO, Birla Sun Life AMC. He's joining us in our Mumbai studios. Bala, thanks for being with us at NDTV Profit. Do you think India will be able to sail through the global storm? If there is one, given all the concerns about global growth, if there is a push on reforms, or do you think we will fall in line with what's happening around the world? Will this be just a bounce, or are we going to build on the gates?
Yeah, I think first of all, let me take this opportunity to wish all the viewers happy Diwali and prosperous New Year. I think clearly the question what you're asking about whether we'll be able to withstand the pressure, the footfall that comes from the global economy. I think the way we see is, I think India is definitely is getting into a different kind of trajectory. And largely is coming from the fact that the last 1 year, I think last Diwali, I still remember when I came here, I think we had a lot of things to worry about. Which was largely on the current account deficit and fiscal deficit, a bit of uncertainty which was there, more on the reforms, orientations, and all those things if you look back, they're all now behind us. I think clearly the current account deficit now has become a history. I think in all probability that we will be able to, I think, maintain the very high stability on the currency market, and we'll also be able to withstand actually the pressure if that comes in the global economy, especially with respect to the US, if at all the increased interest rates. I think if you look at it from the totality, I think India is definitely is becoming, in some sense, getting insulated from what we could see in the global market. Having said that, at the end of the day, the money is fungible. I think we always know that money is fungible, that money that is coming from global investors have been pretty high. And to the extent, I think we may probably see some kind of fluctuations. But at the end of the day, I think we are in for a good period as we move forward.
Mr. Bala, we'll come to you in just a bit. The opening we are seeing on our screens at this point in time. So you've got both Sensex as well as Nifty opening away up in the green. Remember, a 350-point cut that we had seen in Nifty is not there anymore. It has opened way above the crucial 8,000 level. The top gainers on your screens following Ambuja Cement up about 0.3% or so. ICICI Bank is also gaining up in the trade. M&M is also inching up as we speak. Also, you've got in the oil and gas space, BPCL continues to gain even today as well, about 2 points or so in the opening trades. Tech Mahindra is also up close to 1% or so, gaining big time. But look at GAIL out there. It's down about 0.3% at this point in time. HUL is also seeing it has opened in the red at this point in time. ACC, yet another name trading up in the green in the cement space. Bajaj Autos in particular have been buzzing for quite some time now, and you've got Bajaj Auto which is also up about 8 points or so. DLF, there is some amount of selling in DLF that is being seen. Wipro, we expected Wipro to open in the red, especially after the earnings posted by the company. That particular stock is down about little over 4% or so. ONGC, it continues to gain even today as well, up close to 1%. IDFC is also up about 0.4% or so. Tata Motors is seeing some amount of selling pressure. Cesar Sterlite, yet another stock which is trading in the red at this point in time. So we have more of gainers at this point in time, and Nifty also, it's up about 20 points or so. L&T on your screens up about 6 points or so. HDFC Bank is also trading up in the green, trading at 894 at this point in time. SBI gaining big time, and as we speak, it continues to inch higher, up about 0.4% or so. That's right, 0.5% higher in the green. TCS in the IT space is also up about 0.3%. So, some big gains coming in, Anisha, and like you were saying that my target is far away, it does not really look like that, we are not going to see that all-time high level in the Nifty today.
Well, the bets are still on and all of us have laid them, but let's quickly tell you what's happening in the mid-cap space. We have seen financial technologies as one of the biggest gainers in the mid-caps. So secondly on this trot, we're seeing this stock bounce back after the lower circuit, 20% lower circuit 2 days ago. M&M is down a third of a percent, marginal cut being seen there. Kansai, Nerolac, India Bulls, PAR, these stocks are also looking good. Sona Koyo, again, auto and auto ancillaries seem to be in demand, though we are seeing a little bit profit taking in some of the leading auto counters. IL and FS Engineering higher by 6 degrees. Alembic has been doing well, it's up 5%. Like I mentioned, some of the leading pharma companies like Bajaj, Tata Motors, they are seeing a little bit of profit taking, but Bajaj is just coming into the green. Grasim is up at 23 rupees. Gammon is higher by 5%. So the mid-caps, we're seeing good performance coming in from some of the power and the auto ancillary space, and the list of the gainers or the mid-caps is higher, much longer than those losing ground. The loss is also not very high. Indian Bank is at 169 rupees, up 3% or so. We have MBL down 4.5%. NCC, construction major, up about 3.5%. Wipro is one that is looking weak all through. It's down about 4%. Den Networks higher by 3%. So we are seeing a decent performance coming in for the mid caps, with Wipro being quite weak after their second quarter earnings missed street estimates.
That's market opening. By the way, Hina, Anisha, were you able to figure out who was the lady there ringing the bell today? I was looking very keenly. I couldn't make out.
I was just trying to figure out, because Prashant, for me, this is the first Diwali session that I am seeing, you know, when it comes to Mahurat trading in particular. So even I was
sure Pankaj knows, right?
Yeah.
She's an actress, I think.
Vichitra knows. She's got all the intel. She's telling me that it's Kajal Agarwal, who's an actress, who's there at the BSE ringing the bell. So.
Prashant, you should get in touch with Pankaj. I'm sure he'll have all the details that you also are looking out for.
We'll get him in. We'll get him in right after we speak with Bala. Bala, so, and Sanjay Sinha, by the way, is also getting mic'd up, I'm being told. So he's there from the BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. Bala, I'll just get back to the conversation. But as an institution, do you put in trades on the Mahurat trading session? Do you say a day before, well, these are the trades, give some trades to brokers to execute? Or, I mean, it's up to the fund manager, individual fund manager.
Historically, I think we've been maintaining that tradition of respecting, of course, the Mahurat trading, the importance of Mahurat trading, and talk to the broking firms and the market players, especially on the auspicious occasions.
Right.
We do, of course, keep our office open, especially for trading desk.
Right.
And
there's
secondly,
a puja and...
There's a puja. And we also, of course, do some few trades, which are more, of course, we don't increase the volume. But at the same time, we do some trades more from the purpose of sentiment and auspicious occasions.
So these are token trades in that
token
sense.
trades, what we do.
Right.
But otherwise, today is not something which is very important from the point of view of fund managers actually look at the market and do some kind of serious trades.
Do you remember any instance where you know, the pre-open session actually turned out to be quite useful in terms of actually taking a position one way or the other based on some news, etc., which came through? Do you remember?
Not really. I think I still remember. I think there was only one occasion where I think when the 2008 crisis happened.
Yes.
I still remember that the Diwali was something which actually was not something which was cherished by everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was not enjoyed, given the fact that a lot of pressures were there in the global economy, and as a result of that,
the
Lehman Brothers
lows in the US market happened around Diwali 2008.
It's September. Then I think they followed by Diwali, and Diwali actually turned out to be quite bad Diwali.
Yeah.
Especially people like us, instead of sitting at home and enjoying the Diwali with their family members, and we're all in the office talking to the investors and so on and so forth, and I'm trying to figure out what could be the potential direction.
Yeah.
I think it's something which now is something. It's
you
better
look
not to
back
remember
and reminisce, but yeah, it's behind now.
That's right.
Right. But so what is the focus? I mean, at Birla. I mean, what are you focused on? Things have certainly turned around, right?
Correct,
I mean,
correct.
The biggest help has been for the fallen commodity prices.
True.
For no real good effort by us. It's almost like a gift, Diwali gift, right?
Exactly.
When Jaitley presented the budget, oil was 115. It's now 84 or so, right? I mean, that is huge.
Correct.
But so, what is the direction that you're giving?
I think clearly, I think what we have been saying and we have been also believing, it's something like I would personally put it actually the godsend opportunity for India.
Right.
And given the fact that nobody expected the oil price to drop quite significantly,
right,
which itself it means that something is big for India.
Right.
And second is if you I think go back in the month of May and June, a lot of people are expecting that the monsoon is not going to be that great, and India will probably have a drought kind of scenario.
That didn't
I think
pan
that also didn't happen.
Yes.
And even now, if you see the second half of the monsoon has been pretty good.
Yeah.
And even the second crop for the country as a whole is going to be much better than what we actually originally were estimating. Expectations were very high. And secondly, the whole political environment also now changed quite significantly.
Yes.
What does it mean? Of course, I used to say it very frequently that we always used to say we are living in a VUCA world, which is nothing but volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity.
Okay,
which
VUCA.
which is VUCA world.
Right, okay.
So now I think it's something we can say that we are not in that world, we are more in the stable world.
You'll have to invent a new acronym.
Yeah, that's right. So we are more in the stable world.
Yes.
Which essentially means that I think it's something is positive,
Yeah.
and then oil price coming down, and India being actually the biggest, biggest dependency is coming from oil. It's something I would say is a godsend opportunity.
Yes.
I think which never happened in the history, and it's now it is happening, which essentially means that probably we are in for a good days ahead.
Right. You think the market will do anything near what's it? Nifty is up 25, mid cap is up 50, small cap index is up 75.
That's right.
From last Diwali to this Diwali.
True.
We'll see returns anywhere near that next 1 year?
I think the way we
I know
see
it's an
is
unfair question.
Correct.
Let me preface that.
That's
but
right.
what's your sense?
I think our sense is, I think clearly if we expect the economic growth to come back to average about 6.5%, and inflation is roughly about 6%. There is nominal GDP of about 11-12%. And definitely you'll have in a premium of about 6 to 7% towards equity as a premium.
Right.
If you look at that, I think if one is able to get about 18 to 19% kind of return over a period of next 5 years or 10 years, I think one should be happy on that. And given the fact that no other instrument or no other investment that could give that kind of return, I think definitely it's something which is the equity as an asset class over the next 5 years period or 10-year period can potentially give you a very high return. And having said that, I think some of the important asset classes, I think not to of course demand the importance of the equities, also not demand the importance of gold as an asset class. And unfortunately, the Indian investors have been owning the large amount of gold.
Gold, yes.
That doesn't mean that gold is going to give you a substantial return for you for meeting your retirement plan. I think if one has to actually plan for the retirement plan as well as one has to plan for the future, the income, definitely is an equity and asset class which I think people have to look at it. Given the fact that we are actually in a scenario, we'll probably have the next 5 years of stability. If everything goes well, we'll probably get into the next decade of stability for India as a whole. So in that context, if you look at it, I think this asset class can give a potential return. I think one also has to accept the fact that I think as you rightly mentioned that last Diwali when we were discussing, I don't think all of us have predicted that index will give about 27% return.
Nothing close to this.
Nothing close to that. And that's the beauty of equity. I mean, the least expected it gives
totally
a return.
Unpredictable.
Correct. When it is most expected.
I mean, actually, timing is the issue, right? I mean, timing is impossible. So you just have to.
That's true. But I think I'll come back to the Warren Buffett principle, which is timing is not more important. It's the timing in the market is more important. Time in the market is more important. The longer the time period you are there, the more the benefit you get.
More the benefit. Absolutely. Bala, it's a real pleasure that you came by. Happy Diwali to you once again.
Same to you. Thank you. Thanks
for
having me here.
Thank you. All right. Sanjay Sinha is with us as well from the Bombay Stock Exchange. He's ready and being told. Sanjay, good evening. Happy Diwali to you from everyone here at NDTV. Thanks very much.
Happy
how are things looking, Sanjay, this evening?
To you and your viewers.
Thank you.
I think, we are completing 1 year as a milestone with this Mahurat session, with the broader markets giving a very healthy return of about 27-28%. The mood outside the Bombay Stock Exchange is also very upbeat. The economy seems to be now back on track. Reforms are back on course. So I think in overall environment, if you see locally, I think we are in a very positive environment. But I think the dark clouds are gathering not on India, but in the global front. So between this Diwali and the next Diwali, the only thing that we need to be concerned about is to whether those dark clouds will have a dampening effect on the Indian equity markets or whether we will be able to sail through that without much of a challenge.
All right. Mr. Sanjay, you're saying that dark clouds are gathering in the global market. But, looking at what happened last year, exactly around this time, there was a lot of, there were dark clouds on India. But in the last 1 year, things actually changed. And this is exactly that time of the year when we saw the markets, they started rising, they started giving gains. Now, with the US bond buying program also coming to an end, where do you see actually the markets headed from here on, especially for Indian equity markets, when on one hand you've got these dark clouds in the global market, but on the other hand you've got these reform measures which have kick-started in India?
So if you take the scenario that nothing is going to happen globally which is negative, we do not have any accidents on the global front, then I think we are on course to see the Sensex at a level of about 35,000 points by December 2015.
You're expecting the Sensex to touch 35,000 points by December 2015. Is that what you said?
That's right.
And what's going to be your Nifty target by that time? Do you see that crossing 9,000 level as
somewhere
well?
close to about. Oh yeah. We should be somewhere around say 10,500 points to 11,000 points of the Nifty.
What is it that makes you so bullish on the Indian equity markets at this point in time? The way Modi government has started delivering on reforms, it all started with the labor reforms and fuel sector reforms. So many of them came in one single day. Now, a beginning has been made as far as the coal sector reforms are concerned, and now GST lined up. Do you think that the government will be able to deliver by the next budget or so?
I think yes, if you see the misgiving that the NDA government would not be able to deliver, started getting dispelled the minute the Prime Minister spoke from the ramparts of the Red Fort on the Independence Day. And thereafter, there have been incremental steps that have been taken by the government which have created a positive environment. The last 1 week, in my opinion, has been very, very active as far as the government action is concerned, both on the gas price front, diesel deregulation, and also on the coal block allocation front. But these measures by the government are important to create the environment of goodwill. There will be a confidence that the government should be able to deliver. But in the medium to long term, if the government is only able to create an environment and the corporate sector is not able to deliver, then the market levels cannot be sustained. I believe that the earnings momentum that has started picking up speed will now accelerate from say around 15% growth in the financial year 2015 to maybe a level of 18%, 20% in the financial year 2016 and 2017. My estimate of the Sensex touching about say 35,000 points by December 2015 comes from the expectation that the EPS of the Sensex as a whole should be now touching somewhere around say 1950 to 2000 rupees by the financial year 2017. So by December 2015, we shall start discounting that into the levels of the market. And a 17-time price earning multiple for a market where the corporate earnings are growing at say 18-20% would be very much possible in a positive environment, and that's how you will get a level of about 35,000 points of the Sensex.
Right, Mr. Siraf, if the Sensex is headed to 35,000, what will be the sectors that will take it there?
I think there will be three major themes that will play out in the next 1 year. On the one front, we will have the domestic consumption theme. Some bit of that we have started seeing out playing already. By the way, the auto sales have been picking up. For 5 consecutive months, we have had positive sales in the auto sector. This Dhanteras, we've heard disclosures by Hero Motors that the sales that they've seen has been 40 to 50% higher than last year. This may be a spike, but I think on a level basis, the auto sector is doing quite well. The minute the confidence in the economy starts picking up, you will see the large ticket purchases even now extending to the real estate sector. So the domestic consumption theme, which will be made up of a large number of sectors, including auto, real estate, consumer goods, so and so forth, will be one theme which will play out. The second theme which will play out would be the infrastructure. In fact, if you compare this Diwali with the last Diwali, the capital goods index is one of the best performing indices even now, up by about almost 67 to 70%. But post 16th of May, we did not see much of an action by the infrastructure stocks after the initial spike. That is because, the government did not come out with some big bang announcements on the infrastructure front. I think that is now going to happen over the next couple of quarters. So that will be the second prominent theme that will play out. And the last but not the least would be the export-oriented theme made up of IT and pharma.
All right, Mr. Sinha, thank you so much for speaking with us at NDTV Profit.
We are slipping into a very short break at this point in time, but don't go anywhere. A special conversation with Ramdev Agarwal, Joint Managing Director, Motilal Oswal, is lined up after that. Stay with us.